Hello, my name is Andrew, and today we're doing a review of the all-new Vivobarefoot Tracker ORA sandal. So this is a lightweight zero-drop sandal for water and hiking. It's got the same toe box as most Vivos, wide across the forefoot and straight on the inside with a little bit of taper on the outside. Unlike completely flat sandals, the ORA has a higher guard all the way around, so it's nice for water resistance. Like if you're taking them out and it's a little bit colder, you don't want your feet to get wet. It can help keep out mud and shallow puddles. That said, the strap system is Velcro, so you can adjust it to whatever you want, and underneath the straps are perforated, which helps with breathability in the summer as opposed to a flat material that can get sweaty. And the edges are also rounded, so I didn't feel anything hard rubbing up against my skin. Although I will say I think the straps are a bit bigger than necessary. And when I bent my foot, I could feel a little bit of pressure towards the back, but I found it helpful to scoot my toes up a little bit, which helped avoid that. And the back half, it's got a second Velcro adjustment, and this one both adjusts this strap here and the strap that runs along the top of your foot. And then you've got a third adjustment strap around the heel, which is what I use to move my toes forward a little bit. But yeah, I found the ankle security on the ORA to be really good. And there's some nice padding in here for longer treks so you don't get rubbing. So what I found felt the best was making the back snug and then loosening up the front a little bit, because I really didn't need the security there. I was getting enough from the side wrap here as well as the heel and ankle straps. In terms of the footbed, it's built for getting wet. It has a little bit of texture for grip and a tiny bit of padding just to smooth out the lugs on the bottom. But yeah, the ORA is great for creek wading because although I usually prefer natural materials in sandals and shoes, when you get natural materials like leather wet, they just become kind of disgusting and swampy. So water is the one use case where I prefer synthetic because it's easier to keep clean. If you're constantly wading through creeks where you're washing off your feet, it kind of mitigates any issues that you might have with synthetic and skin contact. In terms of the sole, it's 6.5 millimeters, and this is the same AT tread that Vivo uses on their hiking boots. It's got some smaller, more widely spaced lugs up front for more agility on wet terrain, as well as wider, more closely spaced lugs in the back for protection on sharp terrain like rocks. You also get some excellent ground feel coming up through here, and the grip on the AT tread is so good, especially on wet terrain, that I can't tell the difference anymore between Vivobarefoot's rubber and Vibram's. If you want a more minimal barefoot sandal, the Xero Z-Trek is a great budget pick. It's also got a wide toe box, but does taper in the front a bit like Vivo, although the front strap is smaller and provides a little bit more freedom for flexing. And you've also got a top adjustment strap which runs down through the front, as well as a Velcro heel strap, although I will say that I would just leave the Velcro on and just slip it off your heel instead of taking the Velcro on and off every time, because the Velcro on my Z-Treks eventually completely wore out. But yeah, in terms of the sole, it's 5.5 millimeters, so thinner and more flexible than the Vivobarefoot ORA. You can see I've put a ton of miles on mine, but they're still going because Xero's rubber is actually very tough, although the lugs are more shallow and not as aggressive as the Vivobarefoot ORA. So the V-Trek is a better lightweight option for casual on roads, or maybe as a camp sandal, or even some light trail running. If you want something specifically for dry terrain, this is a Softstar Camino. The width is pretty similar to the other two. It is wide, but then it does taper more than Vivo or Xero. It has some very classy Birkenstock style leather straps though, and a back heel strap which is nice for going on longer walks or hikes, as well as some minimal padding under the suede which feels nice. In terms of the sole, it's 15 millimeters, so a little bit outside of barefoot territory, but most of that is the midsole foam and the upper padding, so really it's just 6 millimeters of rubber. For the tread, it's made by Vibram, and it's kind of hybrid because it's got enough grip for trails but also enough surface area for just going on flat roads. Finally, although technically not a sandal, the Vibram V-NEOP is really nice for water hikes, and it's the most roomy of them all with extra wide separate toes, which just gives you more flex and agility than you get from normal barefoot shoes. Like the name suggests, the upper is actually neoprene material, so basically a swimsuit for your foot, and although it's not waterproof, basically how neoprene works is that once it gets wet, it insulates you, so it actually keeps you warm, and it's easy to slip on as well without having to mess around with straps. For the sole, it's around 3.5 millimeters and extremely flexible. This is one of the most agile barefoot soles in the entire world, and it's perfect as a reef shoe or for creek wading because it's so flexible that the whole shoe just kind of wraps around whatever terrain you step on. But Vibram rubber is also very grippy and super durable even with a thin sole like this. Alright, so that's my first impression review of the Vivobarefoot Tracker ORA sandal, but if you'd like to support the channel, you can shop with the referral links down below, browse and filter more products with the shoe finder tool at my website barefootwear.org, or watch my zero drop transition video to learn more about barefooting. Finally, if you have a question about the Vivobarefoot Tracker ORA sandal or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace!